Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to AI8S Tech Talk webinar. In today's session, we will take you through the scripting for AVEVA system platform topic. My colleague Munzir Karhani will be guiding us for the coming 45 minutes, discussing the scripting methods and functions for the objects, graphing, and more. I hope you will get the maximum value of this webinar. So as usual, please feel free to type any question you will have during the webinar in the questions box, and we will answer it at the end of the session. Now I will just leave you in safe hands with my colleague Munzir. Hi Munzir.
Hi Nader, how are you today? Hello everyone. Today, as described by Nader, we will talk about the scripting. And this topic, scripting, I know it makes some anxiety for some of the people, but trust me, the scripting, the quick script that we will talk today, it's a very easy and very simple way to do our application. So today we'll talk about what is the scripting in system platform. We'll go through the scripting for object graphics and the new feature in 2020, which is scripting for the application OMI. In 2017, this feature didn't exist. We couldn't script in OMI application. Now it's released with a new feature with that the version 2020. So what is the script that we are using? It's what is the language we are using in system platform? It's quick script. So quick script is actually a language made by Wonderware when they started, and because system platform is a .NET application, they made it make a quick script.net, and it's very simple language. You all need to understand the concepts of algorithm. Any experience in C, C++, or C#, Java can help you to understand quickscript.net. For more details about this language, you can find actually two documents, but the one that we'll talk about, quickscript.net for system platform, you can find it in the installation path under Orchestra, Framework, Docs, 1033, scripting.pdf. I will show you where to find those two later on in the demo, because there is another one for InTouch. It's quickscript.net. Now, because we are working in system platform, system platform is basically an object-based application. So we work more in templates, and from templates we made a lot of instance for the runtime. So this is why we need to make one script. Even the scripts are applied in the template, so one script must be applicable in all the instances, and this is why we use a dynamic reference, or we call it a relative reference, like me or my container. This, if you already have an experience in Java, it's like Java. We have me in object oriented. We have it here in the system platform. Me will automatically be changed with the tag name of the object where me exists. So this will give a dynamic reference. We made a script in the template, and it will be applicable for thousands or more in the runtime. This is regarding me. My container, in case from any object I want to reach the container of that object. For example, if I'm doing a script in this example in Agitator, and I want to read something from Mixer, or even from any object within this containment relationship, I can do it from anywhere and can reach, for example, from Agitator, my container, which means the Mixer dot, let's say, pump1.value. And same for area, I can reach the area. I can reach my engine in case I want to read, for example, the name of the historian, in case I have different historians in my my project. So I can go for my engine dot reaching the name of the historian, or my platform, even if I want to know the computer name where this object exists, or for many other reasons. So relative reference is actually a very powerful tool in system platform. The syntax of scripts is very basic and very easy. Like any programming language, we have the basics syntax, like if, else, functions or loops. Like if I have an expression, then do. If another expression, so we can use else if, and we finish with else if none of these statements exist. And do not forget, I always do close the loop with an end if. So this is like this example that is showing in here. I have for loop and while loop. So for a variable from 1 to whatever the number 10, do statement over statement over statement. In case I want to break the loop, I can put exit for. So if inside the loop, if I have an expression, exit for, and then I can break the loop. For each, in case I want to use a matrix or a table, so for each inside the table, you can do the same like for loop. Same for the while, and here for the while, we always recommend do not make a closed loop while. Always, I'm sorry, an open loop while. Always close it and always make a statement that ends a loop, because the while some could use some of your resources. So be careful when you are using a while loop, and this is a normal for any programming language or any scripting language. Now we do have different execution type. Let's take about an object first, and the graphic and the OMI have a little bit similarity with an object. An object have different execution type based on the life cycle of an object. Let's imagine an object that we are deploying and undeploying it, and then we look at the execution type. Once we right click and deploy an object, a copy of this object will be sent to the memory where this object is supposed to be deployed. Once it's inside the memory, this we call it a startup type. We can after the startup, we can, or on the startup, we can trigger a script. After it's inside the memory, it can be turned on and it's ready to be scanned by the app engine. And this is another execution type we call it on-scan. On-scan is another one. On-scan, we can have a script. Then after on-scan, every time on every scan period, the app engine will scan this object. And on every scan period, we have different types. If I have a data change, I can based on a data change in an attribute, I can execute a script periodically, independent of any data change or any expression. I can periodically, every 1 second, every 5 seconds, make a script or execute a script. I have on true, on false. That means once a value or expression is true, make an expression, or while true, while false. That means while it is true or while it is false. And I will go more deep in this two expression or two types. You can execute for a period of time. I want now to undeploy this object, so I have two more execution types. So once I undeploy, first the object will be turned off, so it will be off scan. That means it's still in the memory, but it's not yet. It's not on scan. That means the app engine will drop it and will not scan it. And this off scan you can turn it off with a script if you want to remove it from the traffic. You can do it even without an undeployment. So on off scan, I can execute a script like what? Like once I want to remove this object, collect some value and send it to somewhere. We can do it on off scan mode. And at the end, once I want to delete the object, we call it a shutdown. Then I can execute another trigger, another script. So this is the execution types for graphics and OMI. I do have like data change on scan while true and while false, but for the life cycle, I just have on showing, on hiding, and while it's showing the graphics. This is the only difference between those, between the object and the graphics. So regarding the trigger types here, if to understand how the script periodically work, or the while or the trigger periods work versus the scan period, this is a good. I will show you three different scenarios, and here I want to refer to the best practice video that we did before, how to choose the scan period of an app engine. We talk about scan period of an app engine versus the update time from the field, from the PLC. Now here I will talk about another factor. Once I want to how to choose the scan period versus the time of the script, or how to choose the time of the script versus the scan period. So let's imagine we have an object that it's already in the app engine where the scan period is 10 seconds. 10 seconds is too much. So every 10 seconds, I'm scanning this object and look at the expression to trigger a period. So let's imagine we have this type of expression that I want. Based on it, on the on true or while true, it's I want to trigger a script. So this expression started as false, it's become true, then it will become false, then true. The app engine will only scan on the scan period. So on every edge, it will scan this expression, and it will scan the expression and will trigger even when on true or while true based on what happened before. So on scan 0, I have false, and then it's become true. So this is why I have while true on this point, and it's still true. So another while true here, then here it's false, nothing. Then I have a true here, so it is while true. However, on true, I will have it only here. It's still true, so it was true and it's still true. So the on true script will not execute. However, now it's false here on scan number 3. Then it becomes true on scan number 4. This is the normal scenario when on true and while true will execute. Remember, the while true, the execution period is 500 milliseconds. So I don't have any issue. Now let's have another scenario when I have the following signal for the expression. It's becoming true within the scan period. So what will happen when I have this peak or that peak? Remember, I only check on the edge what's happening. So it was false, now it's false, I will have nothing, but it's becoming true here. So I have while true, it's becoming true here, while true, it was true and it's still true while true. You will tell me, yes, it's becoming false. Yes, so that's for sure. Now on true, it will be executed only here, not on the rest. Why? Because yes, it is on true here and there, but those data are already done, already dropped. The scan period didn't, the app engine didn't even look at them. So this is a lost data. This is why when you make the app engine bigger, you will lose some data. And this is where we have to look at the other video and look the dilemma, time versus performance, etc. And we have to think about it even with the script in here. Last but not least, the while true, when I have a long while and when I choose the while to be every 18 seconds. Remember, the scan period is 10 seconds, and now here I have 18 seconds. So I don't have an issue with on true. I have on true only here. What about the while true? Now it started here, and after 10 seconds, I still have it true, but it's while true every 18 seconds. So it will be dropped. It's not 18 seconds yet until the next scan period. On the next scan period, now it's 20 seconds. It's bigger than 10 seconds. So it will happen this way. That is for the while true. Please pay attention on the timing when you are choosing the triggers, the trigger type. Now, regarding the scripts, as I said, I can find it in object. Every object has its tab, its scripting tab. So in the scripting tab, and I will show you what are these, this page in the demo. In the graphics, I have two scripts. I have one for the symbol itself, when it's show, on, hide, or depends on some expression, or an animation called action scripts. And I will show them both. And last but not least, the scripting tab for OMI. Just a little bit hint about OMI. The scripting for OMI is actually needs some namespace for the application, and this is why I have OMI, or the application attributes namespace, like attribution for system, when I can reach. It's like in InTouch, we call it tags in InTouch. I read tags from InTouch, but in OMI, I read some namespace. I have system namespace, a namespace for navigation, for security, playback, and settings. And I can refer it with my view app dot whatever system.hours. Is it enough? No, I can generate, like in InTouch, some tags I can generate it, but here in OMI, I can generate my own namespace, and I will show you how. So what are the namespace? For system, I have the time. For navigation, I can reach the navigation, I can turn on, turn off, whatever the page I'm showing right now. Some security namespace, playback namespace, and the setting namespace for my application. And as I said, I can generate my own namespace. Let's go directly to the demo and show you some of the application. So as I said, we have many for the object. We have the script for any type of object. Let's give this scenario when I have an empty DDE suite link. And the DDE suite link, for your information, once the resource or the server is disconnected and reconnected again, I have to reconnect the DDE suite link manually, or I have to put a script to reconnect it automatically. So this is what why I need to open the DDE suite link. It's already the PLC is coming from this template, but I want to apply it for all my DDE suite links, so it will be applicable in the PLC. So here the tab is the script. Let me add, from here I can add the scripts and any scripts I want. So let's name it connection S, like script. So this is the script for the DDE suite link. What is the execution type? And here, remember, I have startup, on scan, execute, off scan, and shutdown. So I don't need any of these except for the execute part. What is the script in here? So aliases. What is the aliases? Aliases is if I have a reference, a long reference, and I want to make a shortcut for it. Declaration if I want to define in memory. And what is defined in memory? This we will refer it in, as I told you, we go for the documentation. In 2017, it's Wonderware documentation. So you will find here application scripting guide, application server scripting guide, and you have InTouch scripting guide. What we are talking here is application server scripting guide. That's quickscript.net. InTouch is a little bit different with same language. It's QuickScript, but here is quickscript.net. So this is for declaration. For the basics, it's based on what I'm triggering. Let's imagine this scenario. If connection status is disconnected, I want to reconnect. So this is what are the different connection. I have connected, disconnected, and mixed. Mixed, that means some topics are connected and some topics are not. In my case, I want to use connected. So even I used connected, or I can use some optimal. Optimal, that means a shortcut for the value. So I want to base on this expression, me, that means any DDE suite link coming from this template dot connection status. Yeah, so let me just make sure about the name. It's connection status. Let me make it here, me dot connection status, to make sure about the typo. Control X. Okay, so me dot connection status. If it's different than connected, so even you can create connected, the string, or different than the optimal too, the same. Once it's not connected, I have to try to reconnect, but I have to try to reconnect every several seconds. So while this expression is true, this is why this trigger, it will be while true. Remember, while true, while false, on true, on false, etc. No, in this case, while true. That means every time this one you find it is true, try to reconnect, which is me dot reconnect equal or equal true. Okay, equal is for comparison, is for expression. So you can put it in expression, put in expression. But equal, that means you're giving an order. So in this case, I'm trying to reconnect on every scan period. This will generate a little bit of traffic, maybe. Maybe I'm not very needy to generate this one. So I can make it like try to reconnect every 10 seconds. So I can change it the trigger period. Remember the table here where I have to understand the trigger table with the scan period. In my case, now I will leave it as default that try to reconnect it every time. Or let's make it 5 seconds. It's maybe it's good. or you can make it 1 minute or 1 hour, so minutes an hour. And here is the basic where you can work on some you can control your scripting, and you can design and do the scripting from here. You can run the script asynchronously, you can report the alarms, you can historize the state of your script. It's all from here. Remember every time to just lock down everything to force the inheriting to the children, to inherit the children. So let's save it. And this is what I need. Me to reconnect, it's different than 0. That's it. Okay, save and close. And okay. Let's open the instance from runtime to see what's happening in here. Chrome script in runtime, it's not up. Yes, it's down. Down is what are the scripts that are inherited. So the scripts are inherited. You can find it down. And here, if you didn't lock from up, you can change it actually, but because I lock it, and this is why I cannot change the script. We always recommend to do this, because if not, you will lose your change. Where did you change the script? It will be a little bit difficult to, in case you have a big object. So let's close and right click, deploy everything. Before that, let's try the scenario when I deactivate my server and right click, activate again. Now, if you remember the DD Suite link, now it's disconnected. That means it will never be connected again unless I connect it manually. So let's go for true and apply. It's connected now. Because of the script, right click, deploy, okay. That's it. Okay, so just give it a little bit of time to take. It's connected. Now we can try the following, right click, deactivate, and activate. Connected automatically. It's working fine. This is for the scripting. Yeah, for sure, the script can be more or less complicated. We always recommend to make your script as simple as it can be. The next part is to work on in graphics. I have this type of OMI application. It's a simple alarm application, and I can control it from here. I can change the time, start and end. Okay, so you can do this with simple scripts from the symbol. This symbol is called selector. I will go for this selector and show you how to make some script for the graphics. So let's open graphic toolbox. So my selector is here. This is my selector, my graphic. And there is, as I told you, there is two different types of script for the graphics. So the first one is related to the graphic itself. So this is right click on the canvas. You can find it in here. So predefined script, this is by default. What you want to do? On show, so that means once the graphic is showing, or on hide once the graphic is hidden, or while it's showing. While it's showing, you can use, so for every same while trigger thing, while with every 1000 milliseconds, that means every second you can do the script. So me dot whatever value equal 1, for example, or while showing. And you can generate your own scripts, many scripts you want. So let's say script one, and based on an expression, if me dot connection status different or whatever different than to here you can do while true, while false, on true, on false, or based on data change. Okay, same mentality. This is the first scripts methods in the application. And the second script method in my application is related to some tools. So for example, this push button, Once I click on it, in my case, this push button is a push button animation. So I can make a push button animation or show symbol animation. When I click on it, it will show a symbol. What if I have a more complicated application and it needs different or several function to be work at the same time? In this case, let me remove it because I cannot have different interaction application at the same time. And here I have action scripts. In the action script, if I click on this push button or any tools, I can generate a script. That's mean make me dot value equal 5. If I click and show graphic, show content. So let's say show graphic. And by the way, you can have some shortcut in here. So here in show graphic, what is the show graphic? You can go for graphic client. It will give you the initial, okay, I need a show graphic animation or show content animation. It will give you the initial part and you can change it from here. Yeah, and what is the trigger type? All is looked here. So do you want a key equivalent? That's mean control and another key. Yes, you can. Or if you click, what type of click? On left click, down, up, while it's down. So you have a while as well. While it's down, do this. While it's not, okay. You can have many different trigger types. Okay, so let me cancel it. This is regarding the graphics. And last but not least, the OMI. Let me close it. In OMI, I already have the same application that is already shown in here. How this one is working? Actually, once I'm changing, let me here. Once I'm changing any of these value, I'm linked to a namespace and using some methods of the alarm client control. Just let's remove it. So, yep. Let's go to the OMI, and here this is the selector, and this is here the alarm alarm application. So alarm application, we name it alarm control 1, and from the selector, let me open the selector again to see what are the attributes I'm changing. For example, I'm changing here, this is a normal text. Once I'm changing this text, I'm actually changing something called start. So it's a user input named start. This start is in the custom property I already added. It's my view app.aa. So this is a namespace dot start time. So I'm connecting to this attribute, start time. So what is the aa.start time? Let me close, cancel. It's actually a namespace that I already generated for my OMI. So in namespace, it will be a view app namespace. This is the AA, remember? So what is the namespace here? Once I open an application, I have a start and get start, okay? Start time, it's a string. So I'm changing this attribute from the namespace based on the time there. Why I'm doing all of this? I'm preparing an attribute to use it actually in my OMI. So going for OMI, remember here, this is a new tab in 2020. This is the script. Once I'm changing the tab, I'm actually changing something in here. In OMI, by default, I have on show. So on show, when I'm showing this layout, I can generate a script. While it's showing with a period, I can generate a script. And on hide, I can generate another script. The script that related to the start type is actually here. My content dot, this is my content, the content of OMI dot alarm client control. This is the one, the alarm client control. Dot what? Dot alarm client control dot time selector, start time and end time. Time selector is actually an attribute. It's a method, like a function, just related to the alarm client control. The alarm client control, you can find this link in the same place where you can find the script.pdf. So what I'm doing, I'm changing me.view AA is the start and the end type from the selector. Once I'm changing there, and based on what? Based on the request. The request is coming from the OK. Once I'm clicking on OK, so the data is changed, I'm putting all of these, and then I'm refreshing my application. Just like any other language, a QuickScript.net and scripting, like any language, like any programming language, it needs a practice. With a practice, you'll be more and more expertise with it. So once you did this, this is where and how I'm controlling my alarm client control with my start and end. And this is how we already close it. From the object, graphic, and the application part. And that's it for the scripting. Yeah, for sure. Again, you need more about it. The best way to understand the script or to know all the function, no one memorize all the function. The best way is always put the scripting guide next to you. And you can find a lot of other libraries in the support website, the knowledge support website of AVEVA. I recommend you to go there, and you have to have your account already, and to look at any scripting guide. By the way, you can generate your own library as well. If you are very good in development, you have the Orchestra toolkit when you can generate your own library. It's a .NET, normal .NET under Visual Studio application. So you can generate your own library and make you customize your own library. And that's it for today. If there is any question, please let me know. Yes, Nader?
Thank you, Munzer. Thank you so much for the session. So while waiting the audience question, let me clarify one point with you. So the cases when we use the scripting is not limited to specific cases, right? It's based on the situation or project requirement. Am I right?
Yes, there is many. It's an open topic. Every object, every project has its own scripting. So it's not specific. The one that I show you today is actually the most common one, because the DD Suite link is only manually can connect, or you have to connect it with a graphic. You can do it dynamically with the way that I show you. This is maybe the only one that is common for everyone. You can use script for addressing, but we don't recommend it. You can use a script in any situation. Once you don't have the functionality built in your application, you can use your script.
Wonderful. Okay, let's just give 1 minute for the audience to ask if they have any question. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if any questions, make sure you'll be typing it in the questions area, and we will be answering it now. Otherwise, you can send it to us by email, and we'll be reply as soon as possible. The first question. In the example, you changed the animation to a script. Is it a recommendation? Munzer, I don't know this question. Can you help with this?
Yes, I changed. Yes, okay. Let me go back to my application to make sure that I'm the one here. It's you're talking about the selector, right? When I went here, yes, I'm changing the push button to a script.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, if any, as I said, any function you find it built in, use the built-in functionality. Don't use the script. More script, more complicated your system and application will be, and that will make it heavy. So the push button is a built-in animation. If you have only to change a value, toggle it from true to false, or make it a set, this is the only function you need to make. No, use the push button or use the show symbol. There is here show symbol in case you want to show simply showing a sample is in a specific window. But in case you have a complicated application, that's mean I want to change 3 values at the same time and showing another symbol, and at the same time I want to execute some types of functions. Yes, in this case, from one push button, in this case, I remove the animation and make an action script. So use an action script just in case you have a complicated, what we call it, a complicated action you want to make that is not covered with a simple animation. In case, again, in case you have a built-in functionality Like for example, before 2014 R2, the addressing was made even by scripts or manually. Starting 2014 R2, now we have auto bounding. So all the scripts want to be changed to auto bounding. Don't use the scripts for this if you have it a built-in application. I think this is the question, right?
Okay, great, Moser. The second question: why does onTrue did not execute in fourth scan period in previous example?
Okay.
I'm not sure to which example they are referring. onTrue, maybe they are referring to the table.
Okay. So why onTrue is not executed in the what example?
Yeah, why does onTrue did not execute in fourth scan period?
In the previous example.
Yes.
If you mean in here or onTrue in here. So because once it's onTrue, it was false, now it's true, so it will be executed only once. Now, if you are asking here in this script, why the onTrue, it didn't execute here, even if I have a false, because this false part, as I said, it's already dropped. Now, let me explain again what's onTrue, how it will execute. onTrue will execute only if it was false on the previous scan period and it's becoming true. So here it was true and it's still true. So it's not onTrue, it's while true. So onTrue will not execute it here. In this example down, yes, it's becoming false. So theoretically, onTrue must be executed here. But as I said, this is a lost data because the app engine will scan every 10 seconds, not continuously all the 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, I have one scan. That means I already scanned here, it was true. I scanned here, it's still true. This which is in between is already lost. And this is why I really recommend you, once you are building your app engine, pay attention of many things that we already talked in the previous video about best practice, and put in your consideration the while true, onTrue, and the trigger scripting versus the scan period. I hope this has covered the question.
Yes, and this question was raised by Sandeep. In case it's not clear, please you can just raise another question or let us know. So question number 3, what about InTouch script? Are OMI script application for InTouch applicable? Sorry, for InTouch. They're asking if the OMI scripts is applicable for InTouch or no.
Are OMI and applicable for InTouch? No, they are not. OMI is for OMI. So OMI script will be only applicable for the open application that I'm using in here. So it's only for OMI. What about the InTouch application? Okay, the InTouch have different scripting methods. Let's open an application. I have an application already. Oops, I have to close this one. And let me open my application. First, the language is different. The graphics will be applicable. The script of the graphics, once I get a graphic from my Galaxy to InTouch, the script inside my graphic will be applicable. It can be overridden by InTouch. This is one. The script of the object, for sure, the object will run and the InTouch will see the script. But the application scripts, OMI is different than InTouch, so InTouch have its own script. The language is different, as I said. It's not QuickScript.NET. First, it's QuickScript. Let me show you what are the scripts. I have a script based on window. Let me add a new window. So script for Windows. You must specify a name. So test, okay, test. So here I have script regarding some windows. I can show it. I can show it from here. Special. Go for configure, or where is it? Script. There is it. I have application script. So application script, it's based on the application itself. Once I start up InTouch, while it's running, an on shutdown for InTouch application. This is one. This is application script. I have. Let's go back to script. I have Windows script. So the windows that I opened here while showing on show and on hide, similar of OMI, but for InTouch. And let me go for a special here. I have scripts for key script. Key script is simply if I click on control plus, for example, Q, do a script. So control Q, it will generate another script. Quiz validate with everything in here. Let's look very easy to use. And let's go again for scripts to show you condition scripts. So in case I have a tag or I want to reach a condition in here, I put the condition, the expression is here. This is the same expression mentality. So I have as well on false, while false, on true, while true. Okay. I have, other than the expression, I have the data. Where is it? Data change script. Same for the condition, but based on data change. In my application server, data change and condition are together. The data change, while true, on true are all together. And last but not least, if I have a complicated function, I can make it as a quick script. So I can put some arguments like get a number, and I put some argument between those for this function. I generate my own function. So once I click on this function, I can generate a long script for a small function. So it's make it like a fast path. This is one. And two, regarding other action script, remember the push button script. I can make a push button script here. Action. This is the action script based on right click, left click, etc. I can generate another script. But this is, as I said, it's quick script related to InTouch. You can find more about it when you go for the documentation. And here you have InTouch scripting. There's something here, InTouch HMI scripting and logics. This is the one. This is the document that you need to look at for InTouch. Yep.
Okay.
Any other question?
It seems no more questions for today. So I want to thank you, Monzer, for the session, and I want to thank everyone for attending and for the questions you have raised today. You will be receiving the webinar recorded as usual, and you can share it with your team. So we will meet you next week with a new webinar. Until that time, stay safe and a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Nader. Thank you, everyone.